All right. So now we're going to have the second part of that lecture, the publisher, and we're going to talk about the subscriber. So if you recall, before we created a publisher that would roll a dice between 1 and 6 and publish it out on a topic named dice roll. And we used int 8 as our message type for our topic. And so now we're going to do the other half. Now again, this is going to be a very simple structure compared to other options because, like I said, there's several things we can do. This one is a simple, we used a timer and called spin. Again, the listener is we're going to use a very, very simple listener where it's going to be driven from the callback, similar to this one. So the first thing you're going to do inside your folder, your package, over there, you're going to create a program called boardgame.py. All right, so boardgame.py, and then in our setup.py, again, pause the video if you need to, we're going to add a third executable, which is going to be boardgame equals classexample.boardgame:main. Again, do not forget to put the comma after the second one this time. And this will allow us to, once we call can build, we can now run the board game. So the board game.py is going to be listening to our dice roll, essentially. So the board game is pretty simple. Our imports are going to be exactly the same as they were for our publisher, rclpy, random, rclpy.node, import node, and then our int 8 for our message. So we're going to have a class board game node, and in here we're going to again initialize our node and give it our what's calling super, and call supers init and send in our name board game. And we're going to have one class variable .position equals 0. And we're going to have self.sub. Now this is our subscriber. This is the important part to take away from this movie. Again, this is still in those lower 3 levels of Bloom's taxonomy. This should be put to heart, this function. This would be a great test function or a quiz question or a test question. So this is how we create a subscriber in ROS 2. We're going to have our message type, the topic name, which, where did I get this topic name from? This is the topic name that Dice Pub is publishing to. So this is going to be listening to. And then self.movePiece is going to be our callback function, similar to how we did our timer in Dice Pub. Notice this is a function pointer, so we do not need to pass in parameters. So self.movePiece says we're going to call this function when it gets when the subscriber hears a topic. And again, our queue size for this class can be 10. It's very important you understand this. We'll be using lots of subscribers and publishers throughout the semester. So define move piece. This time is going to be a little bit different than our timer. We're going to take in two parameters, of course, self, because it's a class function, and then roll. Now this can be any name you want to give it. It doesn't have to be roll. It could be, a lot of times you'll see in examples online, they'll call it data or message. But this is going to be the thing that comes back from the subscription. Now in Python, we don't have to worry about what type of data this is. That's actually really nice. So if we were reading laser scans, this could just be our laser scan data. So roll is going to be the information coming back. Now, if you remember, we talked a lot about the interface. Let's find that terminal. Well, here we go. We'll just try it here. We talked about the interface again. ROS topic, or ROS interface, excuse me. Show standard messages, message, and then int 8. And it told us that there was a variable called data inside this object. So you have to remember that this role is not actually the data itself, it's the object. So we're going to say self.position plus equal role And then we have to access the actual data, which is .data via our terminal. We just saw that here. So .data. So that's why a common mistake is just try to add role to self.position, which will not work as this is an object. Then I have a little print message. I just rolled string role.data. Remember, in Python, you have to cast all non-string values as string if you're going to concatenate them. And then it'll print out the current position. Now here is our main. Once again, we're going to have this just as a precaution, although we won't be invoking it this method. We have our main args equal none for default parameters. We're initializing our rclpy.init with our arguments. And then we're going to declare our board game. Now this is, again, the simple publisher is we're going to have, we're going to spin our board game object, aka we're going to let ROS2 just run in the background, and every time it receives a topic, it's going to invoke this function. So in essence, this function itself is going to be what drives the program. If I was going to have a more complex mechanism here, I would add it after this print statement. This is where it would happen, because this function will be called every time it receives this topic. And rclpy.spin will handle that while the ROS2 is running. After that goes down, it'll destroy the node and shut down this rclpy instance. Again, please pause the video, copy the code, make sure you understand what each of these lines are doing. The self.position is essentially just to store, add up all the different data that has been rolled. So again, pause the video if you need to. Once done, now we can kind of see both scripts at work. We can do, let me go find our actual workspace here. I have it up here somewhere. Apparently not. Okay. Dot. All right. Call build. Again, we might get that warning message. So we got that warning message. It's okay. So we're going to do ROS2 run class underscore example, and we're going to run dice pub. So this is our dice publisher we made in the last video, and we know this is working by if we do ROS2 topic echo / dice pub or dice roll, we should see after 10 seconds we should see a dice roll. Yeah, so we have re-rolled a 2, so we know it's working. Now we can run our new topic. So our package name is class example, and we are running the board game. So just rolled a 6, and they're at position 6. And if we wait 10 more seconds, I just rolled a 1. We're at position 7. Excuse me. So you can see that it is working, and we are now reading from that topic that we were publishing. Again, it's very important you understand how to create a subscription and a publisher, subscriber and a publisher for this class. And all of this content, as far as how to do it, should be put to memory. It'll make your life easier as you go through this class.